All right, guys, so we are going to review graphing quadratic equations, and then I'm going to show you a different way to find the vertex of your parabola. And remember, the vertex is the bottom point, or if your parabola goes upside down, the top point of your parabola. Okay, these guys are known as vertexes. All right. So today I'm going to give you a different way to find these points. All right, but first of all, let's review. What we know so far is how to graph a quadratic equation in the standard form. And we do that by factoring, okay, to find the root points on this graph. So if this is your parabola, right, the root points are where that parabola crosses the x-axis. Those are your root points. And to find that, we have to set our quadratic equation to where y equals 0. All right? So what we do is we go ahead and we factor this, and this would be x plus 5 times x minus 3 will equal y. And in order to find our root points, okay, we set y to equal 0. So we put our little grid over here. So y equals 0. So what does x equal when y equals 0? Well, x is going to equal either -5 or x is going to equal +3. So we plug those in here. All right? So then in order to find the vertex, we have to find the midpoint of those two root points. All right? So if our root points is -5, we add that to the other one, which is 3, and then we divide by 2. So that would be -2 over 2, which equals -1. So our x value of our vertex is going to be -1. And all we have to do is take that -1 and plug it into our equation. All right. So we plug -1 in for x. So -1 squared plus 2 times -1 minus 15 equals y. Well, -1 squared is 1. +2 times -1 is -2, and -15 equals y. Therefore, y will equal -1 minus 15 equals y. Y equals -16. So that is our vertex. All right, and that's how we know how to find our vertexes right now. Okay, so then with the vertex and with your root points, you can go ahead and graph that and form your parabola. But today what we're going to do is look at a different way to find that vertex. All right? So remember, we had x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals y. All right? So we're going to take this standard form. This is a standard form of a quadratic equation, and we're going to turn that into a vertex form of a quadratic equation. You guys are probably wondering, what in the world are you talking about? What is a vertex form? Well, just like this right here, this is the expression of a standard quadratic equation. The expression for a vertex quadratic equation is A, capital A, times x plus capital B squared plus C equals y. All right, this is the vertex form of a quadratic equation. okay? And I'm going to show you how to change this guy into this guy, because this guy is going to tell us what the vertex is, like that, very, very easily, okay? So let's take our equation right here, and we're going to try to put it into this form. So I'm going to put this form down here, where capital A times x plus b plus c equals y. That is a vertex form of a quadratic equation, okay? So let's go ahead and take this equation, and remember our vertex for this equation, our vertex was -1, -16, okay? So let's see if we can use this vertex form and find that vertex easier, all right? So what we do is we're going to set this up. I'm going to rewrite this where I've got x squared plus 2x. I'm going to take my -15, I'm going to put it way over here, equals y. All right, so I just rewrote it exactly the same way. I just put a little space in here, okay? And what I want you guys to do is we want to focus on this right here, okay? I want to focus on this binomial. And what we're going to do with this binomial is we are going to complete the square on this binomial. So in order to complete the square, we take the coefficient of x, which is 2, and we divide that by 2, and then we square it, right? So I add 1 to my x squared plus 2x, because I'm completing the square. And whatever I do on this side of the equation, I have to do on that side of the equation, right? So I would actually have to add 1 to that side as well, all right? But I want to keep y by itself, because I know in this vertex form, y is by itself. So what I can do is I can subtract that 1 that I just added over there and subtract that 1 from this side, right? So that turns into a 0, and I just subtract 1 over here. Now if you see what I just did, I added 1 to this side, and I subtracted 1 from this side. So what is 1 minus 1? Well, that equals 0. So I've actually just, all I've done is I've added 0 to this side of the equation, okay? So now that we have that, right? Now we've got this guy right here, where x squared plus 2x plus 1, that equals a perfect positive square. So I can go ahead and turn that into x plus 1 squared, right? And then I've got this guy over here, where I've got -1 minus 15 equals -16. Equals y. So now all of a sudden I've changed this standard equation, and I changed it into a vertex form of that standard equation. This is now the vertex form. And you're probably wondering, why in the world would I ever do that? Well, in this form, when we have it in the vertex form, it is very easy to find the vertex point of the parabola, okay? The x value of the vertex, is, is the value that x has to be to make this binomial equal 0. So if x plus 1 equals 0, x is going to equal -1. And that is our x value of the vertex. The y value of the vertex is just the constant, -16. So the y value of the vertex is -16. So our vertex point is -1, negative 16. Well, is that the same as that guy right there? Sure is. It's identical, right? So when we put it into a vertex form, right, where x plus b plus c, or I'm sorry, squared, squared plus c equals y, it's very easy to find the vertex, all right? So let's look at that again. Let's try that again. I'm going to give you another vertex form, all right? So if I give you y equals x plus 8 squared minus 4, well, what's the vertex? Well, the vertex is whatever value of x that makes this binomial 0. So x is going to equal negative 8, and the constant is the y value. So your vertex in this equation is negative 8, negative 4. Very simple. So let's try another one. Y equals x minus 9 squared plus 16. Well, looking at that, what do you think the vertex is? Well, the vertex is going to be whatever x is going to equal and make this 0. So x would be positive 9, because 9 minus 9 is 0. And this is your y. So your point is 9, 16, and that is your vertex. And that's why we call this the vertex form. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys some quadratic equations, and I want you guys to use completing the square method to find the vertex form, and then I want you to find the vertex after you get into the vertex form. So I'm going to give you an example. All right? Let's look at 2x squared plus 4x minus 14 equals y. Okay? On this one, you can see we do have a greatest common factor. So let's pull that common factor out. So I've got 2 times x squared plus 2x. I'm going to go over here, minus 7 equals y. All right? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the square for this. So 2 divided by 2 squared is plus 1. Right? And then I'm also going to have to subtract 1. All right? So then I've completed the square, so now I have 2 times x plus 1 squared, right? And now I've got this negative 1 and negative 7, so that's minus 8. Right? And this is all in the parentheses. So now what I have to do is I have to distribute that 2. So now I'll have 2 times x plus 1 squared, 2 times negative 8 is minus 16, equals y. All right, so now we are in our vertex form. So the vertex is going to be, we just look at this binomial, we don't pay attention to this guy. We just look at this. So x is going to be negative 1, and y is going to be negative 16. That is our vertex. Okay? Let's do one more. Let's do negative x squared plus 3x minus, I don't know, minus 8 equals y. Okay? So what we need to do is we need to factor out the negative. So I'm going to take out the negative. I'm going to have x squared minus 3x plus 8 equals y. I'm going to rewrite this where you got x squared minus, let's make this 4. Make that 4, make it easier. So I've got x squared minus 4x. I'm going to take this plus 8 way over here equals y. When I look at this, I'm going to complete the square of this binomial. So I divide by 2, which gives me negative 2. Square it, gives me a positive 4. Okay? But if I'm adding a 4, I've also got to subtract a 4 as well. All right? So now we look at this guy right here. We've got negative x minus 2 squared, right? And then negative 4 plus 8 is positive 4 equals y. And then we have to distribute this negative back in here. So negative times x minus 2 squared is going to be negative x minus 2 squared. And negative times a positive 4 is a negative 4 equals y. So then the vertex is going to be x equal to 2, and y is negative 4. All right? So hopefully that helps you. I know this is a little bit confusing. It's new. It's a new concept, but review what I've done on the board. Try to follow along on the board. I also have another supplementary video that I'm adding to this from Khan Academy. So take a look at that as well. And again, if you guys have any questions, please let me know on the message board. And this will be your assignment for today and tomorrow. You will not have a new assignment tomorrow. So I'm going to write your assignment here. Okay? So what I want you to do is on page 321, numbers, let's go 1, let's go 2, let's go, let's go 17. And we will do 18, and we'll do 20. What happened? Okay. So what I want you to do is take these problems, all right? They're all in standard form. And what I want you to do is change those to the vertex form. And then tell me what the vertex point is. Okay? So do these 5. If you have problems, let me know. I can make a video to show you how to do it. But try to follow what I showed you here. Try and follow the supplementary video. And hopefully you guys will understand how to turn a standard form into the vertex form, which is right here, to be able to find your vertex point. Okay? Good luck with this. And like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know on the message board. Take care, guys.